Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and we're in luck today because we're in Saline County, just west of Solomon, Kansas. We're on the Mark Pettijohn farm, and we're going to be joining Mark here in just a second. He's going to be telling us about his farming operation, which includes a bunch of crops. So stay with us. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and we're in luck because we're in Saline County, just east of the big town of Solomon, Kansas. We're in luck because we have Mark Pettijohn with us, and Mark's going to talk to us about his farming operation and how he got started. So, Mark, thanks for being on the show, taking time out today and talking to us. So tell us a little bit how you got started in this operation.
Well, I got started really in 2005 when my dad retired. He's still around, helps a little bit. I graduated from college in 1992 and really have been farming with him up until he retired.
Yeah, don't mention where you went to school.
That's a great university east of here.
The other one down the river.
Yeah,
the other one down the river.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you're the fourth or fifth generations on the farm here.
I believe I'm the fourth, and my kids would hopefully then be the fifth. And a lot of some of the land is the exact same land as, of course, as going back 4 generations. Yeah. A lot of it's new. It's probably expanded 25% since he retired.
Well, that's good. That's good, especially in these times. Tell me a little bit about the crop rotations, your crops you're growing and crop rotations.
Okay, the preferred rotation would be go from full season soybeans to wheat, and then to milo, and then back to soybeans. That's the preferred rotation, but it probably happens less than half the time. Right. I usually prioritize what does the landlord really need. He doesn't need all beans. He wants to have a good mix. Right. So I might go milo to milo. I might go beans to beans. I might go wheat to wheat. Kind of landlord specific. But the rotation I mentioned at first is the preferred general rotation. And then almost 90% of the time we have a double crop following the wheat.
Double crop plant, double crop plant following the wheat would be mainly beans or sunflowers?
Probably soybeans and sunflowers would be probably 80% of what we do. The other 20% would be cane and just general cover crop, although this year we're going to go back to some double crop milo also. Okay. I forgot corn. Corn is in there too. 3 years ago we started double cropping corn.
Okay, so you're taking your wheat off and you're going to corn after the wheat crop's off?
We did, and we've expanded those acres. It's been so successful. No irrigation, and yet it's been profitable.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're looking at a mid-late June planting date for the corn, and then what, a pretty low population, 20,000, something like that?
I think we planted about 18,000 last year. The yields have been 70 to 80 bushel, and of course prices have fallen, so that's not sounding as good this year, but June 24th, June 27th was the approximate planting dates. Right.
Mark, stay with us. We got to take a break here. And you folks at home, now's your chance to get a cup of coffee, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, and we're on the Pettijohn farm here in Saline County, just west of that big city of Solomon. And Mark, talk to us a little bit about your wheat. What your planting practices are with your wheat crop.
Okay, all of the wheat is planted with an air seeder, and I have a terrific operator. His name's Dustin. And we planted, I think, 4 different varieties starting about October 1st, October 2nd. I think it rained after about 8-9 days. We finished up on the 24th last year. That's probably perfect if we could choose, have some early, some late. And we had a mez starter fertilizer with it, and we've even used wheat as a cover crop last year.
Okay, and that was the wheat as a cover crop was how was that used?
Well, if I didn't mention, all the seed is bought new every year, treated with insecticide early until planting hits about the 15th of October, and then we run just fungicide treated wheat. We did use some quick roots this year for the first time ever, and we thought it was greener already. And then our last seed is just plain untreated seed, but we had some bin run seed kept on purpose, just for the purpose of using it as like you would use rye. And we planted it into milo stubble to suppress weeds, and to this point it has done its job.
So far this spring it's done its job.
It actually looked better than some of our other wheat for a while, but we didn't fertilize it, of course. So now it looks, yellow, and I'm going to kill it any day now.
Right. And I notice as I drive around the countryside, not yours, by the way, but as I drive around the countryside and I hear complaints is that, with the lack of water, the top dress, it's taken a long time for that nitrogen to get into the ground this year because of the lack of rain that we've had. So we've seen a lot of yellow wheat in the area.
Our wheat has split applications of nitrogen, and I have that done, of course, and I also have a half rate of fungicide on now already. And I've been doing some I don't use much weed control, but I did do a little this year. And what we might switch to next year is putting the fertilizer in the ground with a rig we bought. And normally what we do is we either hire the fertilizer streamed on or do it ourselves. And the residue is tying that up. We think so. We can see it green up, but ultimately we want it in the dirt.
So your yields have been, in the past, have been pretty good. What do you shoot for as an average? What do you shoot for? Fertilizing and since you're an accountant by trade, what do you kind of?
I think of Dwayne Hund at K-State, because we always use 42 as our goal. And I think 4 years in a row we hit 40-something as an average. And we like 50. This year we need 60 with the prices, but really anything under 40 is really a failure.
Exactly. Mark, my cameraman's waving for me to stop here, so hang around. We'll be right back. Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host. We have Mark Pettijohn with us here. And Mark, let's talk about soybeans. I know soybeans have been quite profitable on the place, so tell me how you do it.
Well, we use this air seeder, Jim, 15-inch rows, and last year we actually put down quite a bit of mez fertilizer between the rows. We don't normally do that, but it just so happened last year we were a region winner for highest production, and I think we came in 13th on quality. But we will follow all the bean acres with wheat. Our rotation is a little bit erratic, but we don't plant any 30-inch row soybeans. They've kind of proven to be kind of equal, I guess.
Right. So. Yeah, the narrow rows equal to the 30.
Yeah.
And you get better coverage and it helps with weed control.
I like the canopy of the narrow rows.
Right.
And we double crop. We've always double cropped a lot of soybean acres, a lot meaning 300 or 400 acres. And last year our double crop soybeans not only out yielded our full season soybeans, but our double crop soybean yields were the highest ever. Our full season bean average was kind of low, and probably 4 years out of 5, the soybean enterprise will be the most profitable.
Right, right.
So we plant not most of our acres, but the most of any one crop we plant is soybeans.
Okay. When do you like to plant?
Well, this year we're going to go some in early May and some in early June, and then of course double crop.
After wheat harvest.
Because we don't know the answer.
Exactly.
Last year late was better.
Caught some rains late.
Caught some rains at the right time. And last year we planted mid-May, late May, and we plant our short season first, obviously, so we can go back to wheat on a majority of the acres.
Right.
And we don't use any insecticide.
Let's go back to that. Do you feel like you're giving up a lot of yield with the early season planted early?
I feel like we do give up a little bit of yield. But for years we always said if we could pick one day to plant them, it'd be May 10th. And now, the last couple years, all farmers are gravitating, I think, later and later, including us. And I started to say that we use a fungicide treatment on the seed, and but not so much insecticides. We've proven that hasn't been worthwhile. So.
What kind of planting rate?
We are lowering it this year to 120,000,
okay.
And we were at 140,000. 10 years ago, we were at 190,000. We've done some studies, some on-farm experiments, including populations, and it's never been a benefit to be higher.
Right.
For us.
Right. Exactly.
Here. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Mark, thank you. We got to take a break. We'll be right back here in a second, so don't go away.
Okay.
You folks at home, we'll be right back after these words.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fresh herbs are healthy and add zest to almost every recipe. The folks at Jackson's grow more than 50 varieties of herbs right here, and many are available year-round. Our staff has hands-on experience and can't wait to assist you with your herb needs. Stop in and see us at Jackson's. We're open 7 days a week.
Topeka's largest selection of homegrown herbs is at Jackson's Greenhouse, with 4-inch pots starting at just $3.79.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host. With us we have Mark Pettijohn, and he is the champion sorghum grower here in the state. And guess what we're going to talk about this time, this issue? We're going to talk about grain sorghum. So let's hear your thoughts on grain sorghum.
Yeah, it's the 2014 no-till non-irrigated, to be exact, and it was on, we actually raised that crop on the worst, perhaps some of the most challenging ground that we have, some of the worst producing. And what we had done there the previous year is raise a 7-8 foot tall canopied Sudan grass, radish, turnip.
Cover crop.
Cover crop. We had that in there following wheat. And throughout the winter it died and it used moisture, and when we had it strip tilled March 1st of 14, it pulled harder than...
You're bringing up some clods, I bet.
And it was cloddy than a neighboring field that was much more lush and had some moisture perhaps from the winter.
Good, yeah. So you talked a little bit about strip till, and you talked about the cover crops there. Are you mainly all strip till with your grain sorghum?
Well, starting in 2015, we have everything already strip tilled, 90% strip tilled for the milo to plant in 30-inch rows this year, because we've discovered perhaps a 25, 30, 33% yield advantage to doing so with both corn and milo. And the starter we use with this rig is a 12-40, 10 sulfur, 2.5 unit of zinc product. And with the strip till, we are having put down 100 units of nitrogen plus some chloride. Much like the wheat, it receives chloride also. So.
Okay. So you said you like to plant in June. What kind of seeding rate are you looking at?
Well, it was always higher with the air seeder, so we're saving money with the planter, of course. This is largely something advocated by my hired man, and I sort of grudgingly was convinced it did save us quite a bit. The planter was doing much better, and we're shooting for 42,000 now, whereas before we were maybe 60. I would hate to say even higher with the air seeder, and of course more even stand.
Now you told me earlier that you're planting more grain sorghum than corn.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Well, last year in 2014, milo was our third most profitable crop, and this year we've increased our milo acres because of the relatively higher and ever increasing basis for milo versus corn. So we've reduced our corn acres and increased our milo acres.
Okay. Mark, we've got to take a break here. Stay with us and don't run away. Folks, stay with us as well. We'll be right back.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fairy gardening is now one of the fastest growing hobbies in the country. It is a great way also to introduce your children and grandchildren to the exciting world of plants. Basic fairy gardening is simple, affordable, and may be expanded as your interest grows. Let us help you. Jackson's has the best selection of many plants and accessories in Topeka.
Visit Jackson's and check out our great fairy garden collection. Bring the kids and grandkids too.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and in this last segment, Mark Pettijohn here in Saline County is going to tell us a little bit about his equipment and your harvest strategy. So take it away, Mark. Tell us a little bit about your equipment.
Okay, it seems like I'm in the sprayer all the time. I got a wonderful hired man who does a terrific job planting. We have a 16-row planter with row shut-off, liquid starter. We have a 42-foot air seeder that does the wheat cover crop, and we plant the sunflowers, the milo. We use the air seeder for the soybeans, but I think our big best kept secret, I guess, which I really enjoy, is the custom harvesters from Canton, Galva area. They're also farmers, and they come in, and we probably spend as much as a farmer owning the equipment. We just don't have to have the heartache, headache, repairs,
upkeep,
and the staff to run that equipment. And it keeps the air seeder and planter busy doing double cropping and planting the cover crops and keeping the sprayer going. We're never behind on what we're doing. We're very efficient with the equipment we have. I think our shed is usually 3/4 full. We have more shed than equipment. And
that's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem. My K-State economist said something like a farm our size should have twice the capital investment into machinery that we have.
Or could have
that it typically would have, yes. So we're keeping the planters rolling, the sprayers rolling. Meanwhile, the harvesters do a great job for us. Terrific.
Okay. So what do we have right here? What's this?
Well, I call it a rolling coulter. It's a way to get the fertilizer into the ground. It's new for us this year. It's probably something they use more back east. And so this year what we're doing is putting no bulk fertilizer down with the corn that's already planted, by the way. And in a week or so, when it's up a few inches, we'll side dress it. Right. So it's a side dress rig, and it'll apply the nitrogen as needed. If we want to add more later, we can do that.
So you're basically getting more bang for your fertilizer buck by putting it in the ground as opposed to on top of it, and not being tied up by residue.
Almost positive that's the case, because with so much residue after 16 years almost of no-tilling, we have quite the carpet, quite the residue mat. We've gotten into some strip tilling, which may seem not the religious thing to do for a no-tiller, but I'm okay with that. Whatever's most profitable, and that has proved to be well worth it. But we have some other ideas for the future, for some equipment that might help move some residue in the future also.
Okay. Mark, I really appreciate you taking time to do the show with us and this morning, and talking to us about your overall operation and even your hired man, Dustin, there. So folks, thank you for being with us this morning, and don't forget, next Friday, be back for another issue of That's My Farm.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.